The 2024 Men's Olympics draw is out, and the draw is absolutely insane. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some of the potential matchups, and as always, we'll go through each and every single match. I'll give you guys my predicted winner, and then we'll work our way through the tournament, and eventually I will give you guys my champion, my gold medalist, and I'll give you a silver medalist and a bronze medalist as well, because why not? Guys, I mean, the Olympics is one of those crazy events that happens every 4 years. And if, like me, you're a bit of a sports nut, you will be glued in front of the TV for long periods during Olympic season. And that was really what I was like as a child growing up and with my family. And even now, I'm exactly the same. Just absolutely love the Olympics. And yes, tennis is my main passion, my main love, and first and foremost. But when it comes to the Olympics, you watch everything else, and this, whatever it is, track, field, swimming, etc. It's always interesting to watch. So, hope you guys enjoy the Olympics, and yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. So, look, I mean, the tennis is going to be fantastic. I'm hoping as well, and yeah, I mean, the only downside to this draw is that 4 out of the top 10 are absent. So Yannick Sinner, the number one player in the world at the moment, he is out because of tonsillitis. That means Djokovic is the number one seed in this tournament. Then we also had Hakac, who was recovering from knee surgery. And I think for him, it was not surprising, I guess, mainly because there was doubts given that he just had knee surgery. I think it was knee surgery after injuring himself, of course, at Wimbledon. But yeah, a big blow. And look, on clay, he's not as proficient, but he's still a solid player. Andrei Rublev opted not to play the Olympics, so he is playing other tournaments, which is interesting. And then the other one was Grigor Dimitrov, who again looked like he'd opted not to play. And I just get the feeling that for some players, if they're not particularly good on clay, and I guess Dimitrov probably falls into that category, then you just get the feeling that maybe they think, well, what am I actually gaining from it? And Dimitrov maybe is thinking that, and I don't know whether he'd qualify given maybe he hasn't played Davis Cup, etc. I don't know, but he's not present anyway. So yeah, in terms of the format, it will be best of three, and look, it just means it's more open. In all honesty, it just means it's a lot more open when it's best of three. It means that some of the smaller players are able to beat the more notable high ranked players because it is best. Alexander Zverev, of course, is the reigning champion, won in Tokyo in 2021, so only 3 years ago because there was a delay due to the pandemic, etc. So it was technically Tokyo 2020, but ended up being 2021. So he beat Djokovic in the semi-finals and then Khachanov in the final. Look, I mean, this draw is an absolute nightmare if you are Novak Djokovic or Rafael Nadal. And they are set for a collision course second round matchup, which would be monumental, really, in not just the scope of this tournament, but also just in history, because it could be the last dance between the two. I think. I mean, look, let me just pick some players first, and then we'll get into that because I don't want to get into too much depth on that. But well, maybe we do. Djokovic beat Ebden. I think he will beat Ebden, by the way, and I think Nadal beat Fucsovic. Even though Fucsovic is a very solid competitor on all surfaces, he's not an easy player to play against. I just think Nadal should just have enough. Now, look, if Djokovic were to play Nadal on Philippe Chatrier, on Nadal's favorite court, favorite surface, the place that he's won 14 times, you might be licking your lips thinking this is going to be a cracker. And look, I'll be licking my lips, no doubt, because it is a historical match. It would be the 60th time they face off. Djokovic leads the head-to-head 30-29. Nadal be looking to, of course, level in the head-to-head. Djokovic just moving ahead. And as I said, it is and could be the last dance for these two players to come up against each other for what could be the last time. And I think, if I'm being honest, and a lot of guys who watch the channel will know that I'm a Nadal fan, but given the level we've seen from him since his comeback, if you compare that to Djokovic's base level, generally at the moment, and it hasn't been his highest, I think that's fair to say, given that he made the final at Wimbledon but hasn't won a slam this year, hasn't won any tournaments, period, then I think we need to be honest, and I just don't see Nadal winning that. I hate to say it because his favorite surface, favorite stadium. You think, look, this is the perfect, and I have to be honest, it's probably the perfect conditions for Nadal to really compete. If Nadal wanted one last hurrah against Djokovic in conditions and in the stadium and just a overall environment which would give him the best possible chance, this is it. But I still don't think it's enough against Djokovic, given I feel like there's now a gap in level, given how long Nadal's off, and then also how he's looked in the comeback. And I just think Djokovic would be too strong, even on clay and on Nadal's favorite surface. But in a best of three match, who knows if Nadal comes out swinging? He could definitely do something. And look, you can't really completely write him off, given that he is the king of clay. But I just think Djokovic might smoke him, in honesty. And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that we do get the second round matchup and that it's extremely competitive, and whoever wins, wins because they felt that they had to really dig deep, and they had to play a good level to get through it, rather than maybe Nadal goes into it, doesn't play a particularly high level, and Djokovic just cruises it, which won't make for good viewing, that's for sure. So yeah, anyway, enough about Djokovic and Nadal. First round matchups will make our way through the draw. So Kepfer I've picked to beat Raonic. I just think Kepfer on clay is very proficient. Raonic, his big serving, big hitting game is just not as effective on clay. He's not the best mover. Fields Arnaldi is a fantastic matchup between two young talents. Arthur Fields is fresh off a Hamburg 500 win. Arnaldi's been picking up some good wins left, right, and centre last few months, but I've gone for Fields. Or Fils even. Baez to beat Montero, I've gone for. And I've gone for Benjamin Hassan to cause an upset and beat Chris Eubanks because it's clay, but that would be a big upset, but I've gone for it. Evans to beat Echagüe, and Zizou Bergs, who I interviewed at Wimbledon, he's got a really tough match against Stefanos Tsitsipas. I've gone for Tsitsipas to win that. I think Tsitsipas will be looking to go deep. Of course, a former Roland Garros finalist and also has won Masters 1000 titles on clay. Zverev to beat Jean Mounard, and I've gone for Mashak to beat Zheng Zhuyan. I've gone for Wawrinka to beat Kotov, and then Nicholas Jarry to beat Popperin. Two very similar type players, big serving, tall, big serving, big hitting players. Jarry, I just think on clay is the more experienced and more comfortable on the surface, so that's why he's going to edge that one. Musetti, I've gone to beat Monfils, and Borges to beat Navone. Navone's been playing some decent tennis, and Borges winning in Sweden as well. Really impressive victory from him. Jack Draper to beat Nishikori. Taylor Fritz to beat Bublik, although Bublik's got such a big serve and so many different things up his sleeve. On clay, it's just not quite the same. It doesn't have quite the same effect. Casper Ruud to beat Taro Daniel. I think he'll be happy to be back on the red dirt. Pedro Martinez to beat Vavasori, and I've gone for Cerundolo to beat Thomas Barrios Vera. Amber to beat Marjan. And yeah, let's have a look. Who else? Felix Auger-Aliassime to beat Giron. Levic to beat Mortera. Offner to beat Haas. Medvedev to beat Hijikata. Dimona to beat Struff. That's a tough one, though, by the way, for Dimona, considering I know he's just come back from resting an injury. Mute to beat Nagel and Mensik to beat Shevchenko. I've gone for Paul to beat Darderi and Tabio to beat Safiullin. Echeverry to beat Seyboth Wilch and Nori to beat Greek Sport. And I've gone for Alcaraz to beat Hadi Habib. And sorry, my bad. Let's go back into the men's. Okay, we're on to 32. So I've gone for Djokovic to beat Nadal. That's my pick. And yeah, I mean, look, I just think there's a disparity in level at the moment between the two. So who knows? Maybe Nadal proved me wrong. I hope he does, but I think it's unlikely. And I've gone for Feast to beat Kepfer, Bias to beat Benjamin Hassan, Tsitsipas to beat Evans, Zverev to beat Machak, Jarry to beat former Roland Garros champion Stan Wawrinka, Borges to beat Musetti. Borges has been in good form, winning, I think it was the Swedish Open. Musetti's very good on clay, but I'm just going with current form on that one. Jack Draper to beat Fritz, that's a big call from me, especially given his clay. Casper Ruud to beat Pedro Martinez. And I've gone for Cerundolo to beat Amber. Felix Auger-Aliassime to beat Dusan Lejovic. And I've gone for Daniel Medvedev to beat Offner. Debonair to beat Mute. Paul to beat Mensik. And I've gone for Echeverry to beat Tabio. And Alcaraz to beat Cam Nori in the second round. Round of 16, Djokovic and Feast. So Djokovic, I've gone for Djokovic on that one. Feast might put up a good fight. He's looked very explosive, especially on the forehand, just very dynamic player. But I think Djokovic should get that one done. Feast will have the crowd on his side, but that's not always a positive thing against Djokovic. We know he can use the crowd to create his own energy and then come out on top. I've gone for Tsitsipas to beat Baez on an easy second round. Jarry to beat Zverev, which would be an upset, of course, given Zverev is the reigning champion and also Roland Garros finalist this year. Draper to beat Borges, Ruud to beat Cerundolo, and I've gone for Medvedev to beat Felix, Alex de Minaur to beat Tommy Paul, and a lot of that depends on his recovery because he doesn't look great, and especially on video as well recently, hobbling around. So I'm unsure he's going to be able to play. I mean, he hasn't pulled out, so yeah, but I think we'll have to go for Tommy Paul because I just don't think he is 100%, that's for sure. Quarterfinals. My quarterfinals are Tsitsipas and Djokovic, Jarry Draper, Ruud Medvedev, Paul, and Alcaraz. 3 out of the 4 quarterfinalists are what they have as projected quarterfinals. The other one would have been. Oh, it's tough for testing my. I think it's going to be Fritz and someone else who I cannot remember, but I can tell you guys. Fritz and Alcaraz. No, sorry, Fritz and Zverev even. That's it, Fritz and Zverev. So, yeah, that's the one. And then we also have the semi-finals now, and that's obviously a big upset if Djokovic loses. I think the main goal for him this year is this gold medal, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does win it. I just feel like he hasn't had the best of luck, and it's a tough route for him as well. Semi-finals have gone for Tsitsipas to beat Jarry and Alcaraz to beat Ruud. And final I've gone for, which will be heartbreaking for Steph, given that he has been trying to beat this guy in the last couple of years, and it's really struggled, or he has really struggled even. But yeah, Carlos Alcaraz have gone to win my gold medal, and Tsitsipas to win silver, and it'll be, yeah, it can be between two people, the bronze medal if needed. Right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you on the next video. Don't know why I sang that, but yeah, I guess enjoy if you if you enjoyed it, then fantastic.